What do these formulations contain that make it so distinct and beneficial?
So a very interesting question, actually, and very difficult to answer in a short interview. But I'll try my best to explain it in a very simple way. Homeopathic medicines can be made out of anything under the sun. So there's an unlimited pharmacopoeia, unlike allopathy, which is limited to certain chemicals and fixed things. So you can actually prepare homeopathy from anywhere. So like when Hahnemann, for example, the German doctor who founded homeopathy, medical doctor, at that time, during his lifetime, there were hardly 200 basic medicines. I mean, today there are more than 20,000. So that's the difference. And from anything under the sun, you can make a medicine. So while most of the medicines are prepared from plants, and they are natural from there.
Could you name some of these plants? I think neem being one, marigold.
All, you just name any plant.
Okay.
So a very common medicine like calendula, which is useful for cuts and promotes healing, is prepared from genda, which is marigold, the yellow flower. Then you have arnica, which grows on the mountains. So the mountaineers used to pluck it and eat it because it used to get rid of their soreness and tiredness and muscle fatigue. Now that's extremely good medicine, arnica, for injuries again, and also for soreness and muscle fatigue. So any plant that you can think of, whether it's the drumstick, moringa, you name it, from any plant in the world, you can make homeopathic medicine. Actually, from any substance in the world. Similarly, you can make homeopathic medicines from any mineral. So you have, for example, silicia, you have calcium, you have magnesium.
Table salt.
Yeah, everything. Even from salt, yes. Natramur is a very common homeopathic medicine, which is very good medicine for depression and is prepared from common salt. So you can prepare medicine out of anything. Now, again, the other part of this also is flip side, which people don't know. But I must mention that since you asked this question, is similarly homeopathic medicine is also prepared from poisons, from snake poison, from venom, from tarantula, and it can also be prepared from parts of the animals as well. So it's very important that if you're strictly a vegetarian or a Jain, you must let your doctor know that, because you could be taking medicine it really has no original substance because it's diluted multiple times. Its original source could have been animal,
What are these animal extracts, just for curiosity's sake?
It could be anything. You can prepare medicine, for example, from the semen of a whale as well. It can be like that. It can be any part of the body. So I'll explain to you. I think I'll just explain to you the process, because then it becomes, it's easy to understand. I'll explain it through plant medicine because that's the easier way to explain it. So for example, what happens between Ayurveda and homeopathy is you do take a plant extract, right? Supposing now that's the plant, and supposing I want to make medicine out of that plant. What would we do? You would take the juice out of it. You will crush it. In Ayurveda, you will take it in the raw form. In homeopathy, you will dilute it. And that is what is peculiar. So you will take one drop of that plant juice and you will add 99 parts of water or alcohol. And you will then shake it up in a particular way, what is called succession or trituration. Once you do that, the succession, it liberates energy. So homeopathy is actually energy medicine. And therefore, what you'll do is you'll take one drop of that shaken up thing and you'll again add 99 drops of water or alcohol and you'll again shake it up. So this becomes one power, this becomes two power.
Oh, it keeps increasing in potency.
Yes. So the lesser the substance, the stronger the medicine. And this is something which is why people call it the placebo effect, because they say that nothing can be determined, which is why it's immaterial, whatever it is. So you can actually make medicines out of moonlight, for example. And if you were to give me medicine out of the moon dust, I could prepare medicine from moon dust as well. I could prepare medicine from the COVID virus as well and give you immunity against COVID in future, So you can prepare homeopathic medicines out of anything, as long as you follow this principle of taking one part of it and then diluting it, then shaking it up, then take another part and then do that hundreds and millions of times over. So you then reach like 1,000 million potency, but the original substance is not found at all, which is why in Europe, for example, after a particular potency like 6 or 30, they don't allow homeopathic medicines to be sold. Because as long as you can determine it physically, even in very small quantities, it is allowed as OTC and over there. But when it does multiple dilutions and the original substance cannot be determined, it's allowed all over the world, but in some parts of the world it's not allowed. I mean, that's really how it is. But today now research has been done also by IIT graduates in Mumbai, which they all actually talk about nanotherapy and they talk about nanoparticles, and they actually say that nanoparticles can be determined even in those minutest quantities. They have been determined. And many years ago in the 80s somewhere, there was a French doctor who actually did what he called the memory of water. So he said that water retains memory. So while you dilute a substance, it may transform itself, but its therapeutic values get enhanced. So for example, if you talk about marble, so calcium is prepared, so a medicine called calcium carbonate is prepared, calcium carb. So you dilute marble, the marble is inert, can give you nothing, no medicinal quantity. But when you dilute it, it becomes a very powerful medicine for children who are fat, flabby, get repeated colds, tonsillitis, including some children who don't have the ability to remember so easily, who are backward in class, who have shortage of memory. So an inert substance then becomes very powerful. Similarly, lycopodium is prepared from a plant, but lycopodium has also been used in many, many cases once it's diluted to that extent. So many people who are paralytic have been able to walk after taking lycopodium. So an inert substance then becomes powerful, and it becomes powerful because of the energy that it liberates multiple times over, and then becomes like a new substance.
And also the water in which the medium in which it is being carried also carries forward the
Yes,
memory,
it carried
right?
forward. So it's normally water, but it's also alcohol. Yeah, now it's scientifically proved as well.
If you enjoyed watching this content, you can watch the full in-depth video on the Body To Being podcast hosted on Shlloka YouTube channel. To continue watching shorter pieces of this content, you can subscribe to Shlloka CLips on YouTube. Don't forget to like this video and follow us on Spotify. Pranam.